not letting me go live on Facebook, so fine.
Did you update your key?
I did that.
You're not live on YouTube either.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me. I should be live here on YouTube, so thanks for joining me here tonight. Facebook doesn't seem to be working right now, so I hope you are popping over here to check out the YouTube page. So we are continuing on the face mask here tonight. John and I are working on these. We are working on making 60 of them. We have 20 done so far. We're getting it going again. I am working on just assembly line sewing tonight. John's helping me. He is pressing all the bias strips for the ties here. So I will kind of show you where we're at, and we're just going to sit and sew tonight. So let me know how you guys are doing tonight, if you're still healthy, what you're working on, and I'd love to just chat with you. So thanks, everyone. All right, I'm going to flip you around, and we will get started here. All right, so there, here is the stack that I have done so far. We have 20 of them here. Got some little animal guys, all sorts of them. All the crazy straps. Got it all going. So I'm going to set this guy on top. John is over here. He is pressing all of our seams. There he is. He's pressing all of the ties there. And I am at the stage where, well, I am putting on I'm cinching these up and then putting on all the ties. However, I'm not quite that far. We got a stack of ones that were top stitching. So this was kind of laying over somewhere else, and then we remembered, oh, we got to press all these yet. So these have been pressed. All I have to do is finish top stitching them. I just have a few left. And then we have our final stack. This is all the ones that we'd like to do yet. We're going to try and do them all tonight. We're going to be up for a while. But that is the plan. So these just need to be cinched, and then our straps put on. So that's coming up next. So John's continuing to press our bias strip straps. So when he's done with that, he is going to cinch these up. Then he's going to clip the straps on them, and we'll do some of that tonight yet. I'm going to start doing that again once I am done with this. But I did want to get a few done. So we do have our stack of 20 here going, and yeah, I'm hoping to get this done tonight. Oh, Barbara says we're making good progress, John. That's good. All right, let's get to the machine. I might actually go a little higher up for you guys tonight, just so you can see what I'm doing a little bit more. Okay, so there we are. Just a sec here. There we are. So here's my stack. I got these guys here, and this is the stack that I'm working on. Again, these are the flaps. So I got the big flap and the small flap, and now I'm just top stitching it. And you guys, I am getting so good at this machine. I'm falling like way in love with this machine. So I'm excited about that for sure. I do not have the bias binder foot, Gina, but oh, I was thinking about that, and that would have made things a little bit easier. But nope, we are just pre-pressing them, and it's actually I've been kind of getting at it, and I feel like I'm getting some tricks down. So I hope some of you are. It looks like some of uh, the normal Facebook people are popping over here, so that's nice. For some reason, I couldn't get the stream wasn't letting me go on Facebook tonight. One of the reasons why we are over on YouTube too now, just as a backup. So if you don't see me on one, I'll probably be on the other. Hopefully we're on both. But yep, so I'm just getting the groove of doing all of these little steps here. I really like doing assembly line production because you learn, you find out little efficiencies along the way. And so I've done that with the binding strips a little bit. Yeah, well, the best efficiency is having John be the bias strip maker. Exactly. Oh, okay, so Nora says that Facebook is not cooperating on any live stream tonight. Yeah, the go live button was just grayed out, and I couldn't figure out why. So maybe it is. Maybe it's everyone. Okay. Well, that doesn't make me feel as bad then, Nora. I was like, I thought I had this all figured out. Why isn't it working? So, yeah, all right. Good to know. You know, the more and more I work on these, the more and more I feel like my fabrics all look like viruses. This is a virus fabric right here for sure. Gretchen says, still healthy, developing cabin fever a bit. Yeah, luckily right now, John and I can get to the office, or the warehouse. We don't, with like no contact with a person. So we're like quarantined in our house, and then into our car, and then to the warehouse. I'm not sure how much longer we'll be able to do that. I just put a new bobbin in, and I'm telling you, I'm a master at this bobbin now. If you guys remember how long it took me to figure it out that one time, I'm like golden on it now. Ugh, Barbara, I hope it's nothing. That's not fun, though. That's scary. Oh, your Quilt Guild, Pam, is making masks for our hospital. Yeah. Again, I just find it so crazy that, I mean, I love that we can make these for our nurses and our hospitals, but it's wacky that we have to. Like, that's wacky. Oh, my mom said, hi, your instructions are great. Got 17 finished today. Oh, and shipped a dozen. Oh, that is so good to hear. Yay! Okay, that's awesome. A few of you have asked me, including my mom, if there is a PDF pattern. And I don't have a PDF pattern for this, and I'm not sure I will, just because I'm not going to have a moment to do that. So right now it is just the video. But I do have the measurements and stuff on the video, so that should be helpful. Oh, good, no fever. Think the trees are blooming. Oh, and it says asthma. That's the thing, Barbara. It's just so hard to know, right? So, yeah, and it's hard to you can't get tested really either anywhere. So I hope it's just allergies too. Crazy. All right, I just have a couple more of these. Yeah, maybe like 6, so we'll be here a little while. We are hoping to get these done tonight, so we'll probably be up for several hours yet. But man, all those early stages on this do take their time, so now it feels a bit speedier. how did I lay that on here? I'm trying to lay them on the pile in the exact same way every single time. Yeah, I'm much, much, much more comfortable with this machine, so that's bonus. Yeah, exactly, Catherine. It's allergy time, it's flu time, it's all the times to be sick. So you don't know, and uh, that's that's a scary part. Hey, Robin, glad you found us over here. Like I was saying earlier, it doesn't. Facebook wasn't working for me, and it sounds like it wasn't. Nora said it's not working for a lot of people tonight. We're just assembly line sewing. We're just cruising along on this. So I ran out of bobbin about 10 minutes um, before I was going to go live with you guys. And I'm like, ooh, I was feeling like that was going to happen soon. But I was hoping I'd get to show you guys how much I've improved on changing the bobbin. And man, because it was a struggle that one time. So, but I did it before coming on. Oh, you're planning on making some of these tonight, Mary? That's awesome. Oh, just need to figure out where to donate to. Yeah, you can call your hospital, or if you have any nurse friends, ask them. And you can probably even, I mean, I'm not sure about this, but you can probably just even Google where to donate masks in my town or whatever, and I'm sure something will come up. But, in theory, it's either like a place that's super hard hit, which is going to be everywhere, or somewhere local to your town, I think is a good idea. Getting there. Two more. More of these green guys. Well, I had a good stack about like this high here just a little while ago, so I feel good about this progress here. Although this stack is looking awfully big, like we have a lot to do yet. Oh, I love the sound of this machine. Oh, you made two for your friend. She can see if she likes them, and I can make her. Oh, that's awesome, Barbara. That's a great idea. Yeah, see if they like them, and then if they need adjustments, then you can do that and make more. That was our original thought too. Like, oh, let's do a bunch of examples and then have her pick, but she just really needs them, sooner than later. So we just chose one and went with it. And I'm talking about when I say she, John's aunt, who's a nurse at the hospital by us here. Last one. Then we can then all we have left, all we have left after this one is just putting on the strappies. This is like a neon green. All right, that's that. Let's snip that guy off. All right. So there we are, moving on, you guys. So next up, I'm putting on, I'm cinching them. So let's do our little cinch. So I'm making sure that the opening. So right now I have them flipped. So everything here is the bottom. I should probably check when I go, and then this is the top because I'm cinching the bottom first. So I'm going like about a third down, and just kind of squeezing, pulling and squeezing, and then flipping over. Grab my clips. So I'm going to do just one side. We're adding like these little pleats here. All right, then the other. I'm not measuring or anything doing this. I'm just adding that little pleat, and I'm not even pressing it or anything either. Okay, so now I'm holding the top about, in the middle, so this is like another third down, and then squeezing that, and there we are. Ooh, this is going to be a bright, fun one. I like it. You can hear John pressing in the background. We are cruising. All right, so then I stole some of John's bias tape here, a whole stack of them, so I'm just going to grab from that. First, I'm putting that fold in it just so I can mark the center easy. Oh, Charlotte says her cardiologist has none for his office. That's where yours are going first. Yeah, that and that's it right there. All of the N95 masks and all of the, protective gear, personal protective equipment, all of that goes to aid the COVID-19 people, and then no one else gets any. So none of the rest of the hospital or anything, it seems like most hospitals are like this now. It sounds like they just don't get any, which makes sense. I mean, it's got to go there, but, other people need protection too. Do the pleats point up or down, or does it matter? Well, in my head, I don't know, I'm not positive, but in my head, they're going to point down. But if someone just turns it this way, then that way. Actually, I am doing it so it points down, and I'm doing it so it points down and the pocket is at the bottom. So that is why I am, when I'm tucking it, I'm tucking, so this is actually the bottom, and then this is the top. I'm actually rotating it and doing that first tuck at the bottom like that, so that when I rotate it again like that, all my pleats go down. So there is a reason for the directionality. I think it makes sense that the pleats go down because then nothing can get caught in it really. But then this is from the bottom because this is closer to the chin, and it won't get caught in the mouth or anything like it would if it was up here. So this is meant to be the bottom, and I cinch the bottom first, and then that way the top has the kind of big flap piece, the biggest area that you can see there. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm starting at the bottom there. All right, let's place this on. So I'm just placing it over the center of the bias tape. We're removing a couple those guys there while I'm holding it. I found that this position is working best for me. I've done, 40 of these basically now. Well, 20 finished masks, but that means 40 straps. So I'm getting the system down, and so now I'm not even moving it. It's just staying there. And one thing I've changed from last night, here I'm flipping this in, is that I'm sewing on the left side of the my foot instead of the right side. That way this can sit on the table here. It doesn't have to scrunch through there, and that's helped me a lot. So that's one thing. All right, so I'm just flipping in that end so it's nice, and just doing this on the flat surface here is helpful. Then we squish it again. And now, see, so here's my open edge. That is what I'm going to put on the left. And I'm still just doing like 1/8 of an inch or 1/16 of an inch, really. And the other thing I found out is that I can go backwards on this machine at the, I should show you guys. There, here's my backwards lever. I can go back and forward on that while the machine is still running. So that's kind of a cool thing I found out. So I can just go near, and then get going again. All right, so once I got it started, then I kind of go as far as I can before this guy falls off, and I'm just closing it up. You guys can't quite see here, but I'm holding here, and then I'm going a little bit further down here, so I can sew as long as I can without stopping. That seems to be speeding up the process a bit. All right, then I'm grabbing the whole thing and folding it and then pulling on it, and that'll kind of get it flat as well. And that's kind of my second motion. I'm trying to reduce the amount of motion. Oh, Tracy, I'm not actually sure what the right way is for which way the flaps go, so I'm sure it doesn't matter all that much. Because once it's open, there aren't any flaps anymore, right? So I mean, and really, there doesn't, it could just be made like that. See, now there's no flaps at all, no creases. So, in the end, I don't think it matters at all. I'm just being consistent for the sake of, to speed things up. All right, so now here I'm going to go back and forth, too, with it on. So I'm going a couple times, back and forth a couple times. More than usual, like I'm going at least twice. And down here, I'll do that again. So I'm happy about that discovery that I can go back and forth without stopping. And then I'm just going to hold it. I'm going to go all the way to the end, and I'm going to hold it right here. So I just have that little bit left, and I'm going to pull the whole thing, and then I can line up this whole thing, and I can stitch it all at once, in theory. So that's reducing my time as well. And then once it all gets on the table like this here, then I gotta open it up quick and then flip it open and close it again, which is super easy. Or it's getting easier, I should say. But it's easier doing it on a flat surface. Oh, and the police and firefighters need them too. Jeez, it's just crazy. All right, add a little back tack. And we are done with that side. So I'll just throw my clips back over here. All right, and then I'm already in position for the next one. Start by just flipping these in, getting a little faster at this too as I go. So it is getting faster. It took me a little while to get going quickly on this, but I'm getting in the groove of it for sure. All right. Oh, Charla, I'm way in the close enough to work stand at this point. I do consciously think, how can I make this faster? How can I make this better? But I'm not sweating it if it's not perfect. Still while actively trying to improve, so I don't know. All right, so we will be just chilling and doing this for the rest of the night. Like I said, I'm hoping to get all of these done. John's still cruising on pressing all these strips for me. I'm thinking there's no way I'll catch up to him. Open. Yeah, especially with these, I'm not worrying too much about perfection. I'm just making sure that the physical aspects are there. Like, if I accidentally, don't get the bottom of the bias there when I'm sewing, I'm going to make sure that I go back and do that, just because that's keeping it together. But as far as, like, these bias strips being a perfect, like, 1/8 inch in or anything like that, I'm not worrying too much about that. Although I am still trimming threads and doing that to some extent. And I'm just tucking in this thread. So I guess I still do want them to be nice. I'm just not that worried about them. At this point, I'm just trying to get it done. All right, so here we are. I'm going to snip the ends on both guys here. Grab the other side. I got my little stack of fuzzles to the right of me here. Okay, that feller is done. Next up, cinching at the bottom, which I'm holding. The bottom is actually up here. Kind of getting both sides good and kind of creasing it. I'm getting it about 3 inches here, but I'm also eyeballing that. Okay, looks good. Let's get another strip going. Hey Letitia, hey Libby. So Dawn, no, I keep calling these bias strips, but no, they are not actually cut on the bias. I am just cutting them straight, so they just look like traditional bias strips. So I've just been in the habit today of calling them bias strips. They are not actually on the bias. However, if you purchase pre-bought or pre-made actual bias strips, that would make your life way easier here. You wouldn't have to make them all. So those would totally work. But no, I'm not actually doing true bias strips. They're just they're 2 inches by 36 or so inches. I just happen to have, like, the fabric I cut for these all kind of happen to be around that 36-inch wide. But if you're cutting, like, the width of fabric, here's what my mom did. She just cut a bunch of strips the width of the fabric, so that's more like 42 inches. And then she sewed them all together, kind of like how she's making a binding. You know, when you when you sew two strips together like that at an angle, and then you have like the long, long, long binding. She basically made a long one of those, and then made a long, bias strip looking thing where you fold both edges to the middle. And then she trimmed them to all the sizes that she needed. So that works too. Then you're not cutting off, 6 inches or whatever at the end of. I think I did this differently than. Yeah, I'm messing up my system here. I'm going on this side. Actually, I don't know. I'm feeling like my system's off. There we go. I don't know. Got talking and now everything feels weirder. We'll figure it out. But yeah, so she just made a long binding and then cut as she went, and that would totally work too. I was actually thinking about doing that originally, but then when I was going through my fabric, all my fabric happened to be like weird 36-inch cuts or weird. I'm using scrap fabric, so they were oddly cut to begin with. So I ended up with like 30-inch strips. Oh, you almost bought bias tape today, but it didn't match the fabric well enough. Yeah, I mean, it's totally fine. This definitely, all these strips definitely add, I'm doing this totally backwards, aren't I? I thought it felt weird. Okay, I'm doing this one totally awkwardly. All right, we'll see how that goes. I lost my groove here, people. Now I'm backwards here. Ah, well. It's gonna work the same either way. Yeah, how did I get completely upside down here? But yeah, if you're doing these strips instead of the elastic, it does take some time. But it seems like, and we've heard some other nurses and doctors say this, it seems like the ties are what they're preferring. Thanks, Elizabeth. All right. Yeah, man, I'm feeling super awkward with this already. Maybe this is only the second one since I was working on that other part, so maybe I gotta just get in it again. So that I wasn't, totally lined up or anything on my, like those edges of the strip weren't perfect, but as long as they're sewn together and I didn't miss both sides, then we're attached. We're fine. It's construction wise, it's gonna stay together, and that's what I'm concerned with. All right. So now, since that was weird, let's. There. Sheesh. This feels right again. So I'm a little higher up view tonight. I thought that'd be neat, just because then you can see everything, but if you want, I can get closer in on the machine or something, but thought this is kind of nice. All of my piles working here. There, now this is feeling right again. Don't know what happened. you washed and dried one with a load of towels, and it came out fine. Oh, good. Oh, the ties didn't curl up, didn't need ironing. Oh, great. Oh, that's good to know. Yeah, I was kind of thinking about that too, because these are going to be thrown in with a whole pile of other ones in like the sanitizer washer or whatever, I guess. I would assume. Yeah, so that's good to know that the ties didn't get crazy. It's fun to see the weird like combos of the the strips to the main fabric. I think that's been kind of fun to see how those turn out. Flip, flip, flip. Alright, that's another one. Let's do all our snippy snips. Ooh, move these guys out of the way. Other side. I'm not perfectly snipping these either, but I am getting some of it off. And I love this machine. It's got this nice flat surface here that I can lay my scissors at. I like that. Okay. I think we're up to 22 now. Get our cinching going again here. Ooh, I am going to definitely have some ginger tea when I'm done here. We've had that for the past few nights, and that's been just so nice. Just cut up fresh ginger and some honey. Yum. Yep, so John's going to be on cinching patrol next. I think he has finished the strips. Whew, that's a feat. These strips, I think he pressed 120 of these, I believe. I think 124 of these he made. That is a lot of pressing, but he's a master at pressing these to the inside. He came up with a few tricks to get her done too. He used a lot of pins, and then used like the weight of the iron to get it going. Look at this orange with this blue. That's pretty. Let's see if we can do at least 2 more yet here. So I'm just pinching that so I can find the center. And if that's not perfect, then that's fine too, as long as there's enough strap that they can tie it around their head. Oop, it's not quite on there. There we are. That felt right. Ooh, and there's the laundry. Getting laundry done today. We made soup. We're getting all stocked up here again on clean clothes and food. Yeah, I mean, John definitely likes to help. Amy's saying that's great that John likes to help, and this is especially important to him because I mean, these are going to his aunt who needs them at the hospital, so he wanted to be sure he did what he could for this too. He helped with the prototype as well, and yeah, for sure, it's been the both of us with this. Fold it in while I was folding it in while it was still slowing down. Oh, that's nice, Robin. Yeah, I said to him today, I'm glad we like each other because this whole quarantine and doing all this stuff would have been tough. Alright, that side is done, and we can just grab this one right away. Yeah, exactly, Amy. There's so many of these patterns out right now, and it's hard to choose. So our thought process, I actually like the ones that cup your face a little bit more, that aren't these expandable ones, but these seemed the fastest and easiest to cut a lot all at once. And we needed to make a lot all at once because they're going to the hospital, and it was like surgeon and nurse approved. Basically, we saw a couple places online using them as examples, and then that surgeon that was making them, she mentioned that they tested the ties versus the just around the ear elastics, and the doctors and the nurses preferred the ties. And then we've gotten several notes from different nurses that they did want a pocket in the back. So that's kind of what John and I added. We kind of tried to figure out, we tried a pocket, but it opened right in the middle. And that got in the way of your mouth and your face, and it was really uncomfortable to wear because it kept catching on your mouth. So that's why we made a bigger flap so that the opening could be lower, more at the chin level. So that's how we made our decision process. I mean, I'd like to make some for us, and we might, because we're going to give all these away, I might make them like that cup, like around where it's that curved shape that you have to sew, but then you're sewing like curves and you have to cut out a curve. That seemed like too much fuss for getting them done quickly. But for our personal ones, I might do that. Oh, Amy, yes, definitely watch yesterday's video. Yesterday I go in depth on why I'm doing this particular style, and I go in depth of the whole process. And I did not make an actual written pattern, so that would be the instructions, is that video. Uh-oh. Lost the thread here, so let's reclip here. That's been happening every once in a while with this machine. Like, I'll start too fast or get going, and then it'll get angry at me. So let's just put that thread back in. Bobbin seems fine. I think this just all got tangled up here. Let's just rethread this whole guy. Okay. And I'm getting used to threading it. I'm really starting to get into this machine for sure. It is. I oiled it. I didn't flip it upside down to oil, but I did oil the top, and I could actually. There's a little window on the side here that you can unscrew, and you could see it getting oiled just by dripping some oil. And because this doesn't open, so I just drop oil in all these little holes there. It doesn't open like my other machine. So you kind of have to trust it's getting to places. But it seemed like it was. So, I don't know. It's been fun learning this machine a bit more. Definitely learning its quirks a bit. All right, back in business. Oh, you made one of the curved ones for you, Charla? Not difficult, but much more time involved. Yeah, exactly, Charla. And that's why, because of the end goal of this was that the nurses and staff needed them, and they're using them on top of other things sometimes. But actually, they're probably solely using this because all the other masks are getting used. And it's, a lot of different people will be wearing it. So, like men, like larger men and smaller women might be using it, so it needs to kind of work for everyone. Whereas those ones that kind of cup around your face are a little bit more customized to a person. So I thought those felt more individual, and these felt more anybody could have them. So one of the reasons we went this direction, for sure. That's actually the main reason we went in this direction, because it was so easy to cut, so easy to sew, and then we added the features that were requested, the ties and the pocket. So those were the features we wanted to make sure to have. And that was our decision. But yeah, for our personal one, I thought it'd be just really kind of interesting to take measurements and have it like perfectly map the face, like one for me and, well, maybe a couple for me and a couple for John. I thought that'd be a good challenge, but I don't know if we'll have time for that. So maybe we'll end up just making a couple extra of these ones. Oh, and there we're done with this one. I thought we had another side to go, but nope, we're done. Heh. Wasn't even thinking and that one got done. That's the way. That's the way of an assembly line right there, where you don't have to think anymore. That is it. Oh, and this guy I forgot. All right, other side. So what do you put in the pocket? So it's available if someone wants to put an extra filter in. I've heard that some people are actually, you can put like a little piece of flannel in for a filter, or just anything else you want in as a filter. You can put another mask in there if you have access to that, but it is just so it can be personalized with extra protection on the inside. There's an option for it then, is the idea. So we like that. Ooh, I love this one's fun with the different colors. All right, that guy's done. So you don't need anything really in the pocket. I mean, the most protection is just from having something there. So supposedly it gets around 50% of the particles that are COVID-19 size. I mean, that's what one study did, versus nothing, which is 0%. But yeah, I think you can put extra filter things in there to make it a little bit better. But the main value is just having it, that front layer. The extra layers. There's actually 3 layers of fabric here, because you have the front layer, and then you have the pockets, which are both, the pockets have 2 layers worth because it's a piece folded in half. So there are actually quite a few layers. But each subsequent layer only gets you like another 2% or something like that. Yeah, I've heard that. My parents told me this today. We have a nurse who's, I don't know. I grew up with him, so he's kind of a cousin, but I don't think he's really a cousin. uh, but he's a nurse, and they're even putting like the filtrate like home for your furnace, like cutting those up and putting those in as filters. So I mean, that's what nurses are having to do right now is cut up filters for your basement furnace and put them in homemade masks. That's what's going on right now. Ugh, it's just gross. Anyway, that's what the pocket's for. And like I said yesterday too, I'm sewing these all on a World War II era sewing machine. So this machine could have literally been used for basically the exact same thing that I'm doing now. Yep, Amy, I heard that too. Vacuum HEPA filters. That in the test, that Cambridge study was actually the best household item that blocked the most of those small particles. However, it affected breathability quite a bit, is what it sounds like the study said. So the study ended up saying that ultimately, even though it was only 50% for the cotton fabric, they thought that was the way to go yet. Said if you take the mask off, it's important to wash your hand before you put it on. Yes, so I think, Catherine, the study also said that, and I'm referring, if you just Google like Cambridge study COVID-19 or particles or something, I'm sure this will come up. I must have linked to it somewhere at some point too. But yes, so all of this is void if you don't do the hand washing thing. So meaning before you put the mask on, wash your face. Like a clean mask, wash your hands, not your face, wash your hands really, really well. Put the mask on. And then when you take it off, like then don't touch your face. The idea for if you're healthy, it's just, it helps you stop touching your face or get used to not touching your face. So don't touch around the mask, don't move the mask. That's not good practice. And then when you take it off, just try not to move it around a lot, take it off, and then immediately wash your hands. And don't use it again until you wash it, I don't think. And my brother was doing research too. These collect moisture too, right? So you're breathing, that's moisture. So you don't want it to get too moist either, because that holds, that like affects things too. So, it might be good to have a couple around. Like my brother, he said, I'm using it. I'm going to put it on when I go into the store. I'm going to put it on in the car. Or like, he'll wash his hands and put it on before he leaves. He's going to go into the store, and then he's going to come back to his car and take it off right away. So it doesn't, get moist, and, all the collected germs in theory will be done with. Then he'll wash it. So that's, once you're back in your quarantine area, your clean area, take it off and wash it. And that's obviously, if you don't have a sick person in the house, or you yourself are not sick. In that case, if you're sick or have anything, then you'll want to keep it on, or have several that you wash and keep on. I suspect that, I know a lot of them have said to use flannel on the inside. I suspect that's a comfort thing more than anything else. But I don't know. This cotton's, pretty soft too, so especially once it's washed and everything. Can't believe John pressed all these. That's a crazy amount of pressing. But now that he's done with pressing, that means we're like truly on the last step of this. So wow, it's already 9:30, you guys. So I think I will we'll finish this one up and then we'll call it a night. I'm hoping, like I said, gosh, we do have a huge stack here yet, don't we? We got all of these yet to go. There's probably about 30 at least in there. I think I don't know how many did we do tonight? About 6. So there's probably 34 or something in there. Wow. All right, I'd like to at least get to 50 tonight. Maybe if we don't get all 60 done. The request was for 50. We'd love to give, more though if we get them done. But the goal is tonight. We are getting busy with some things, so tonight is like our night to do this, so we're going to stay up and get it done. John's going to start being on cinching patrol, and I'll be doing this, getting in the groove of this. I'm in the groove right now. The plan is still 60, Kathy. We are getting close to half, but obviously, again, we are actually far more than halfway through because we've done all the steps except for the last step, so it's going to feel quick at this point, I think. We're gonna be at the warehouse all day tomorrow, so we're hoping to get them done today. Yep, Barbara, that's exactly what John's next job is going to be. He's trying to get some work done while I do this with you guys here. But yep, he'll be cinching, and then putting on the straps with the clips. He'll be doing like this part. And then I'll just be taking them from him and sewing. Oh, that's just attached. So we're going to crank through these. I'm really happy with them, and I'm happy we'll be able to hopefully deliver them tomorrow. I don't think we'll actually deliver them. I think his aunt will probably pick him up on the way home off of our stoop or something like that. We'll wave from the door. Sad. Yeah, this whole thing has been a process of like, oh, what should I get done? Because then you'll be doing this, and then you'll get done with that faster. So I have to have this done by then. So I should be doing this, and then you do this whole process has been assessing when one person will be done to like do the next part and all that. And I think we've done a pretty good job. Oh, thanks, Barbara. And thanks you guys again for hopping over if you were on Facebook. That just was straight not working tonight. But it sounds again like that was happening to a lot of people. This big gingham print is pretty cute with this green. All right. Do a little trim, and then that will be that. Before we give these away, I'll have to take some photos of my favorites. I've unearthed some fabric I haven't seen in a long time. I'll show you guys. So I want to take a picture of it. And I just kind of use what I have available. that I thought would work well. So I don't know. I'm liking, we got these guys. I think that'll be neat. She'll be in like the nursery area. I think this guy's pretty fun too. Fun. All right, you guys, I'm going to flip you around and we will call it an evening here. All right, hello again. All right, so I actually need some water, so I'm going to go do that. But thank you guys again for joining me here. This will be up on YouTube right away, so you should be able to watch it again. We're going to finish these tonight, and I will keep you updated. I'll take a photo of it, and I'm not sure what we'll work on tomorrow night. Put some suggestions in the Penguin and Fish crafters group if you have an idea. I think we'll be done with this, I'm hoping, and then maybe we'll actually just make some more. Maybe we'll just make more of what we can this week and see where we get. I think that's probably a good idea. Make as many as we can. So awesome. Have a great evening, you guys. Feel free to share in the Penguin and Fish Crafters group on Facebook. I'd love that. And keep on going. Have a good evening. Good night.